Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. For those new to the channel, my name's Sean, also known as Film Guru, and I started this channel having my same particular movies and a variety of film content, so thanks for joining me today. Today I'm reviewing the long-awaited film, The Flash. This was directed by Andy Muschietti and stars Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, Sasha Calle, and a variety of others. The film picks up not too long after the events of Justice League, and it finds the Flash trying to find his place in the world once again. He feels disconnected and he doesn't quite know how he fits within the team. With his father's court case coming up, he ultimately makes a decision to go back and try and save his mother. And this has devastating consequences. When his attempt to save his family inadvertently alters the future, he becomes trapped in a reality where General Zod has returned, threatening annihilation. With no other superheroes to turn to, the Flash looks to coax a very different Batman out of retirement and rescue a imprisoned Kryptonian. And it all becomes a battle of trying to change the past. I think director Muschietti is really great director. I think he did really great with the first It film, not so much with the second. And it's kind of interesting to see him try something a bit different here. And I kind of like what he delivers in a way. I think Ezra Miller is really great here as the Flash once again. Even with all the controversy, he's able to give a really great performance and really portray Barry in an interesting and unique way with this sort of kinetic kind of nervous energy, which I really liked. The action set pieces were really great. The opening sequence with Batman was really interesting and well done. And you sort of see the world from the point of view of the Flash when he's moving really quickly, which was interesting. I don't know if the visual effects were really great. The directors come out and said that they're meant to look weird. To me, they didn't look weird, they just looked bad. So I didn't really like the whole sequence at the particular hospital with certain people falling out of windows. I just didn't think that was really well done. It just looked kind of crappy. To me, the best part of the film and where the film really picks up is where the Flash goes back in time and ultimately comes in contact with a different Batman than he's used to. The Michael Keaton Batman that we know from 1989 Batman. And he's really interesting. I like what they do with him. He's sort of a recluse now. Alfred's long dead. And it's kind of him just existing in this big mansion of his. And I like that when we get to the mansion, they recreated the Wayne Manor in a similar way that they did to the 89 Batman, which I really loved. I thought that was a really great reference and taking it back to that sort of film. No, this isn't the Tim Burton Batman, it's a little different, but it's still Michael Keaton doing what he does best. And when he comes into the film, it really lifts it in my opinion. I really love what they do with it. And I really love what they do with his character, and it's good to see Keaton coming back for one last hurrah as Batman, and I love that. Besides him, the standout to me is Sasha Calle playing Supergirl. What an interesting actress. I haven't seen her in anything before. She sort of pops onto the screen. I love the way that we first meet her, where she's been held captive, and the way they play with the Superman, Supergirl alternate world is really great. And she has some really great moments in it where she's kind of depleted, but once she is out into the sunlight, it's kind of like she recharges and comes back to life. And she has some really great sequences in there, especially where she breaks out of the prison. It's really great and well done. And I really love what they do with her here. And ultimately how she becomes Supergirl, the suit that she wears, the powers that she has, and how she decides to help Barry even though she doesn't quite know if it's the right thing to do. And it's these two, Batman and Supergirl, that really make this film fascinating and make this film really great, and the sequences with them are my favourite of the film. There is a really great moment with Barry and his mum as well, which I really loved. It was kind of a beautiful moment towards the end of the film that just felt right, that felt like the journey he goes on for her felt deserved and right, rather than just a spontaneous, selfish reason that he does what he does. It felt like you could see why. I like that we get to see kind of what happens to Barry's mother and father, and I kind of like that. It was something different. And I kind of like we get a variation on Barry as well. And to see the two Barrys in one scene is kind of good. They're funny and very different guys, and I like that. There's a fight sequence towards the end with Batman and Supergirl and the two Barrys, which is really, really, really great. I love what they do with it. I love visually what it looks like. And I like that you see, you know, Batman kind of kicking ass. That's something I really did enjoy. When you watch the 1989 Tim Burton's Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman's fighting and that, but it's kind of slow and simple sort of fighting. Here he's like kicking ass, which I loved, the way he moves so quickly. And I know a lot of it's digital effects, but it's just like how this Batman sort of moves and is so still very capable. And you see him just being really intense and in a full-on fight sequence, and I loved that. I thought that was an interesting way and something different for the character that we hadn't seen before. And it elevated the fight sequences to really eye-opening. I would love to see more of Sasha Calle playing Supergirl. I think she's great. She has a unique look. She felt so refreshing, raw and original and unique about Sasha here that I really loved, and she was the best part for me, and I would have liked to see more of her and more of Batman. We only got a small part of it, but that part was the best part of the film in my opinion. What kind of lets this film down for me is the start and the end of the film feel very much like a continuation of Joss Whedon's Justice League, and I didn't overly like that version. Snyder's version of Justice League is the only one for me and my favourite. And it just felt like we were still living in the past in a way with the start and the finish of the film. But it's the middle part that felt the most well done and the most earned and the most engaging and piqued my interest because of the choices they make in it, where we get to see a different variety of Supermen in a way, and it's so well done and so beautiful, and we see different Batmans, and it just felt like nostalgic and bringing all these together, and it kind of saying goodbye in a way because everybody comes back. Wonder Woman's in it, Batman's in it, Alfred comes back, Aquaman's as well as in it. It's like it's a way of saying goodbye to the past, where the middle felt like this is where we could go. This is moving towards some sort of future. And the big beef, like I said at the beginning of the review, is visual effects. I thought some of the visual effects were terrible. All these bad visual effects really took me out of the film. I just felt it was kind of silly. It just didn't look right to me, and I was really disappointed in that. It kind of felt like when they first began the film, which had taken a long time to get made, they cared. They wanted to put as much in this. And then when the controversy surrounding Ezra Miller began, it kind of stunted the growth of this film, I think. And it felt like they just gave up. They just said, that's good enough, we'll just release it as it is, without spending a bit more time and really harnessing and creating much better visual effects, which they are capable of. Final thoughts. In the end, it's really about how far you would go for someone you love, and how sometimes doing things for selfish reasons has a huge impact on yourself and the world around you. And sometimes that can alter your perception of things and change things that are very important and shape who you are because they happen the way they did. I'm going to give The Flash 4 out of 5. Thought it was a solid, entertaining action film. Wasn't perfect, had its issues, but it did make up for certain. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom, follow me on Letterboxd and Facebook. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.